posted for about 9 months. Some things happened in my life. Sadly, my mother passed away. I had to take a break, but now I'm back. The reason I'm back is because of my student, Ian. He has been pushing me to start to post videos again. So Ian, shout out to you for being a great person. And Ian requested to have me show a line against the Najdorf in the Sicilian Defense. So I will do that. So let's talk a little bit about Sicilian. So e4, c5. This move makes it Sicilian. We play knight f3. We prepare d4. We don't have to play d4. There are other ways you can play this. But for the purposes of the Najdorf, we will end up playing d4. Black plays d6. If black plays knight c6 or pawn e6, those are the other two moves. They will get us into other Sicilian lines. But to get into the Najdorf, black plays d6. We play d4 to challenge the center. Black should take. We take back. Black plays knight f6 to attack the pawn. We defend. And now, probably the most common move the most common position after 5 moves in all of chess arises after the move a6. So let me explain the point of pawn a6. Pawn a6 does several things. It controls this square, so that our knight cannot go here, either knight. It prepares b5, and then bishop b7, which is a common idea in the Sicilian defense. It also prepares either pawn e5 or pawn e6, depending on what white does. It's a useful waiting move. Depending on white's approach, black will respond with e6 or e5. As you can see here, white has a number of valid moves, which is why I don't usually recommend my students to learn the Najdorf unless they want to spend a lot of time memorizing various lines, because it's just a lot of stuff that white can do. The line which I will recommend is bishop g5. It's the second main move. The main point is we want to take and damage the pawn structure, which is why the main move, and the move we will focus on today, is pawn e6. Black builds a small center, controls these 4 squares. And now we play f4. The reason for f4, later on, we're going to do a pawn storm with maybe g4. Sorry about this. Maybe h4. We can also play queen f3 and castle long. Black can do 2 things here. Well, several things. Black can play queen b6. This is a line which you need to know. It might lead to the poisoned pawn variation. The main move by white is queen c2, allowing black to take and then playing rook b1. This is going to be a story for a different video. You can also set a trap by playing pawn a3. Important to note, if black takes the pawn, he loses the queen. Queen takes, knight goes here. The reason he played pawn a3 is so that the queen could not go to a3 after knight a4. The problem with this is your opponent does not have to be stupid and take this pawn, and then it's not entirely clear if pawn a3 was such a useful move. So normally queen c2 is played, and again, this is something I will show in another video. The other way of playing is either bishop e7 or knight d7, which a lot of the time will transpose into one another. So let's say bishop e7. We play queen f3. The point of queen f3 is you want to castle long, and then you want to attack on the king side. Another point is black has to be very careful now about moving the pawn to b5. For example, if he plays b5, we push. We attack the rook. We attack the knight. And this is not very fun for our opponent. And he can play knight here, in which case we'll simply trade. He cannot take with the knight because the rook falls. So he takes with the queen. And now there are a number of good moves. The simplest is just to take. Take. We take here. We up a pawn. We still attacking this. We attacking this. So let's go back. So after f4, bishop e7, queen f3. Black will not play b5. The main move is queen c7. The point of queen c7, black can now do this, because in response to e5, he will play bishop b7. We are going to castle. And here black can play knight bd7. The point of knight bd7 is this knight might go to c5. The knight supports this knight. My apologies. I have not used this computer for a long time. Black can also play b5 and maybe bring the knight to c4. And now white's idea is revealed when we play pawn g4. And the logic behind pawn g4 is we will end up taking this knight and then pushing g5. For example, let's pretend black plays b5. We take. Black can take with the knight of the bishop. Taking with the pawn also exists. It has also some significance. If he takes with the pawn, we would like to get the knight to the square. So we play f5. The point being is if black pushes or takes, we get access to this square. For example, let's say push, knight e5. And this is a very, very nice knight. And very, very, very hard to get rid of it. Which is why the main move by black is knight e5, attacking our queen. Now queen needs to go somewhere reasonable. Where it does not get a lot of trouble. Something like queen h3, supporting the pawn, with ideas of maybe bishop g2 does the job. Let's go back. Black can take with the knight of the bishop. They sort of the same thing essentially. After knight takes, we play g5. The knight runs away, and now we make a pawn sacrifice. We play pawn f5, allowing black to take this with check. So f5, black checks, we run away. But now black has a problem to solve. This is double attacked. He doesn't really want to take us. This does not end well. We can simply take by with the knight. We're attacking this pawn. We're attacking this pawn. This is not going to end well for black. He can castle, but this line is open. This pawn will fall. So not ideal. So the most popular move on the highest level is knight e5. Attacking our queen, but then we play here. And we attack the bishop. We pin this pawn. We threaten to do something on this square. And you get very, very pleasant position. It's very, very difficult to play it with black. Okay, today we scratched the surface with the Najdorf. Watch this video again, because there's a lot of moves, a lot of ideas. And Ian, I want to thank you for being a great person and getting me back into posting videos. I hope you all enjoy this, and I will be back soon. Bye.